Hello, my dears. Welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I'm Daniela Warner, your host, and I'm super excited for this conversation we are having today. I have Chad Finnegan. He's the owner of IMPACT Cryotherapy, and we are discussing the benefits of bringing cryotherapy into your spa. So we're talking about what it is, who it's good for, what kind of industries are using this, cost, build out, all of that kind of stuff. To be honest with you, I did not know very much about cryotherapy at all to going into this interview. As I mentioned in the interview, I had reached out to you guys in the Estheticians Connect Facebook group, wanted to see who was interested in this. If you guys wanted to learn more, and I had an awesome response. A ton of people were like, yes, tell me more. Cryotherapy, after talking with Chad, I feel like it's a really cool opportunity to have a different competitive advantage, to have something that can set you apart from the crowd. I think it's something that could be added on to your treatments, helps increase blood flow. So it's definitely worth a listen, and let me know what you guys think. So without further ado, I'm going to hop right into that interview. All right, guys, I am here with Chad from IMPACT Cryotherapy. And I had mentioned over in the Estheticians Connect Facebook group about cryotherapy, who's interested in learning about this. And I got a really great response. So I invited Chad to come on the podcast so he can tell us more about it, because I am by no means an expert on this topic. So Chad, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat a little bit about cryotherapy.
So let's just start out with what it is. Like, what is cryotherapy? What's the science behind it? What are people using cryotherapy for?
Sure. So cryotherapy is really just a general term for cold therapy.
Mm-hmm.
What we specialize in is creating very effective and efficient cold therapy. We use cold nitrogen to create a ultra cold environment for the body to be in for about 3 minutes. So athletes and inflammation, athletic recovery all plays into a cold therapy arena and space, and we're a piece of that. So in general, cold cryotherapy is cold therapy. This is the evolution of an ice bath and things like that.
So how does that work with spa? Because I know that there's a trend for spas carrying cryotherapy machines.
Sure.
But what is the benefit to? Is it anti-aging? Is it, what kind of benefits are people seeing?
Yeah, the client base in the response is there's a huge spectrum. I mean, when you expose yourself to cold therapy, all kind of great things happen. You create fresh blood flow and create collagen and spike the central nervous system to wake up. And those are all the reasons that athletes use it, and people use cold therapy for arthritis and lower back pain. In the spa world specifically, where cryotherapy I think has found a good, nice fit, is that one, it doesn't take up a lot of square footage, right? So when you look at your overall spa concept or your business plan around that, and you're like, well, this room's producing this and this room's producing this, and from a direct business standpoint, you can say, well, this room's not doing what it used to do. Why don't we bring in some new equipment or a new experience or a new concept? And cryotherapy, especially our equipment, can easily fit into an existing room. And then with a little build out, we can add a new cutting edge offering that probably is not in that market yet. Mm-hmm. And it's quick and it's dry and it's effective and it's new, and it's probably going to bring a clientele that's not visiting that spa or facility yet, which then you get the opportunity to sell them on everything else that's going on in the spa as well. So it's a magnet, attracts a new clientele, attracts a fresh clientele, but it's a good, easy fit that's not complicated, and it's really quick, and it's actually a great add-on for like massage therapists. And in the beauty space, people love it because it creates blood flow, all the natural things that cold therapy does, which creates collagen, tightens the skin, and, has all those benefits. And Don't take it from me, right? We're the people that build it and help you build a business around it. But our hundreds and hundreds of clients that we have in the United States, and our equipment's producing like almost 40,000 sessions a week right now. We take it from those people, right? And their testimonials and those male and females that are seeing great benefits, not only from arthritis and recovery, but hey, my skin feels great and starting to lose a few pounds, whatever it is, right? Those are the stories that keep us growing the market.
So it sounds like from that description that cryotherapy might be best for like a wellness center or a spa that's really focuses on nutrition, or kind of like a holistic spa that's kind of doing internal and external, addressing the skin in that way? Or where are you seeing your clients that are spas? What types of spas are they?
That's a great question, because it's kind of it's across the spectrum, really. So we've seen projects transition from tanning facilities all the way to like high-end spas like Sea Island. And
don't tell estheticians that you have them at tanning facilities.
right, exactly. So, but in our space, right, we see that huge spectrum, right, from Home Health and Sea Island and the Ranch and all kind of places in LA to all the way to the other side of the spectrum. And in that world, it really is about the wellness aspect, right? And I think part of trying to look good and spending money to look good, and part of being healthy is the overall wellness concept. And that's really exploding in the United States right now. And that pairs really well with recovery and wellness. And I think that's where cryotherapy has a good fit and has gained some traction. But you're right, nutrition and wellness facilities. In fact, our entrepreneurs, a lot of them, will create a wellness concept that has cryotherapy, and it also has all these other experiences that are geared towards wellness and in the beauty space.
So I've got a couple of questions from what you just said. One, you briefly mentioned weight loss. Is it something that people are using for weight loss or fat reduction, and how does that work? Is it similar to like cool sculpting, or?
So cold therapy is cold therapy, right? Cold sculpting uses a significant, very, I think, more aggressive cold therapy, right?
Right.
Cryotherapy is in that same family, although it's a different whole body experience. We're stimulating the whole body. We don't get into, hey, you're going to burn 600 calories in 3 minutes, right? We're not that company. However, hundreds of thousands of sessions later, and clients all over the country and around the world now, and a team of doctors on our side, an advisory board. Is cryotherapy stimulating the metabolism? Is it triggering the body to respond? Absolutely. At what level is that? We don't know that yet. We're doing some kind of our own case studies around that in the background, but we do know that it is triggering the body at some level. And when you can trigger that in combination with, hey, my knees feel better and I'm starting to feel better, starting to look a little better, I'm training a little harder now. It's just part of that overall wellness, healthy lifestyle of losing weight. But yeah, we have clients and entrepreneurs that swear, hey, I got 15 members and they come in, they swear they did, lost these many pounds in these many months. And we got dozens and dozens of stories like that, but it's not specific for that. Right?
Yeah. So maybe just as like a side, wouldn't necessarily be advertised, where cool sculpting actually has done studies and they can show that they're freezing the fat, and the fat cells die at a different temperature than the muscle, so there's, but
that's a good point.
I could see that it could be like a nice complementary service to something like that.
And that's a good point to that. And I'll just add this before we jump to the next point, but is cool sculpting's FDA, right? It's considered a medical device.
Yes.
We've done a lot of work and I think stayed very focused on not being a medical device, right? We want to be in the consumer space, which is very helpful for entrepreneurs and spa owners that it's more in the fitness, wellness, nutrition world than it is a specific medical device. So it's It's easier to get into this business. It's easier to manage this business. It's easier to grow this business. But yeah, we've done a lot of work to kind of stay in the consumer device space versus going down the 510K route.
Okay, so you had also mentioned that the size of the device is not very large. Can you describe what a cryotherapy machine looks like and how it would fit into an office, like the actual physical device?
Sure. So it takes up about a 4x6 footprint on the floor.
Okay.
So envision like a stand-up spray tan booth.
Okay.
It's almost the exact same square footage on the floor. A 10 by 10 room's perfect. We can do a lot of work in an 8 by 9 or 9 by 9. I mean, we can get creative and figure out all kind of different ways to create the workflow in the space. But yeah, one 10 by 10 room, we can literally do everything we need to, from providing the energy source to having an opportunity for the clients to change and create a decent experience, and it doesn't feel too cramped. But yeah, a 10 by 10 is pretty much what we're looking for.
And so when a patient or client is coming in, if they're in a spa for a cryo treatment, would that be the only treatment that they're doing, or would they partner that with something else? Because you had mentioned like 3 minutes, so that's how long they're in there. So what kind of other are you hearing from your clients that they're doing in spa? Like, are they partnering this with facials? Is this at the end of their treatment? How is that looking like?
Yeah, so the cryotherapy itself, the cold experience, is 3 minutes, right? Of course, there's getting ready to get in, and then there's the post-treatment or post-experience. That overall experience is probably 10 minutes, right, total for the client. Early on, when the market was really starting, everybody thought they would be Chad's Cryo Studio, and I have one cryo sauna, and I'm going to expand all over the world. What the market's matured and kind of grown into is that cryotherapy is a really good, powerful revenue producer when it's in an add-on experience, right? So cryo plus infrared, cryo plus a facial, cryo plus a massage, cryo plus whatever it is. And so that's why it's such an attractive add-on, I think, to existing spa owners and the guys that are launching new facilities, is that it's quick, it's effective, and we can pair it with all kind of different packages and experiences, and it just heightens and enhances those experiences. I think that's truly that, the square footage, the ease of operation, and the time, all those things combined make it a really powerful tool for an add-on or to any spa model.
So what are you seeing as cost, like retail cost to the consumer, to the client or patient? What are these spas charging in a range? I know obviously there's, all across the country, different types of spas, but what's a kind of a typical add-on cost to a treatment that you would see?
And I'll take out some of the outliers, right? New York and LA.
Okay.
Just kind of look at kind of the rest of the country. An average session, single session, would be $55, $60, right? That's kind of the average that we've seen too, across the country, even with obviously with all our clients. But the good thing about cryo is it's very tangible, right? So when you do it, you feel it. And because you feel it and it's so cold, you want to give it an opportunity to work. And for it to work and for your body to say, hey, my knees feel good, or my skin looks great, or whatever it is that you're looking for with cryotherapy, you got to give it an opportunity to do that. To do that, you need 2 to 3 sessions, right? And so almost everybody in cryotherapy creates some kind of package or membership plan around that. Mm-hmm. Those pricing, can range from $35 to $45 a session, or maybe for $300 a month, I get access to it every single day, right? And so 85% of habitual cryotherapy users that sign up for a package to where they have access to it every single day still only use it 2 to 3 days a week, right? Just schedules and life and all kind of different things. So yeah, $35 for a single session in a package is pretty much where the market average is. But if you just walked in and grabbed a single session somewhere in America right now, it'd probably be about $60, $65.
So for a med spa, a day spa, a solo practitioner, if they're wanting to invest in this device, what is the average, like how long do you see it taking to recoup their investment and to become profitable?
Sure. So the challenging part and the easy part of that question is I know exactly where the costs are, right? I know the cost of my equipment. I know the cost of the energy. I know the cost of the build out in most cases. What I don't know is how much you're paying the technician, how much is your rent. We're not a franchise, right? So I don't dive into that side of it. But most of our add-on spa clients are really excited about an ROI that's somewhere between that 12 to 16 month period, right? When we're averaging so many sessions a day and creating membership packages around that. The goal, I think, that's evolved with cryotherapy is not so much the cost per session as it is, how did I get this member? How much are they paying me monthly? And because they're coming into my spa more than once a month, they're coming in 2 or 3 days a week now to do cryotherapy. What other services have I produced revenue with? Because that traffic flow is increased because cryotherapy isn't a once a month or a once a week experience. It's 2 to 3 days a week. Well, now instead of doing 1 or 2 massages a month, now they're doing 4 because they're here more, right? And I get an opportunity to face-to-face sell them more. So that's I think another highlight of cryotherapy that people get really attracted is I want Chad Finnegan to come in more than once a month. I want him to come in 3 days a week because I know I can sell him this and sell his wife on a package here and do this and increasing that consistent recurring foot traffic opposed to that once a month experience.
So you mentioned a build out. Is that required for anyone that has a device, or is this something that can be freestanding in a spa?
Yeah. So what I mean by build out is the equipment's freestanding, right? So if you have a blank 10 by 10 room, we can definitely be there tomorrow and install it, turn it on, and start running sessions. But there are 2 permitting code things that we've not only helped develop, but we're very focused on making sure all of our clients, whether it's Miami, New York, or LA, have in place. One is a vent system. So you got to turn over the air when you use any kind of compressed gases in this country. So whether it's oxygen or nitrogen in this case, you just got to have a pretty consistent airflow in that space constantly. And basically, it's a bathroom fan set up, but it's turning over the air. And I've actually noticed, not in all of our clients, but definitely in the spa world, they're used to having vent and exhaust systems for different spa experiences. So that's a pretty easy hurdle to climb over, and we work on the design. The other is an O2 monitor that just basically is almost like a thermostat on the wall, and it's just monitoring the oxygen level in the room at all times. That's what we mean by build out. It's trying to figure out how do we incorporate that into the 10 by 10. But as far as ceiling height and walls, we design the equipment to fit in almost any space.
Okay, that's great. Because I was thinking, like, are they building a separate, like, a wall or like an enclosure or something? That sounds much more simple.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what else? What are some other questions that you get from your spa clients? Because this is brand new to me, so I want to make sure that I'm asking all the right questions so that my listeners can have all the information if this is something that they're interested in, going down that avenue a little bit more.
Sure. So I get asked a lot by the smart clients that ask the right questions, right? And I'm not saying I have dumb clients, right? All my clients are great, but what I am saying is that people forget to ask me, Chad, where are the challenges? Right? They always think about the success of it, where are the challenges? And almost every single time, the opportunity with cryotherapy right now is that the market's open, right? I mean, we're on the end of a fire hose busy, and we're exploding with growing the market. But in reality, the market, we don't even think it's really started. And so the opportunity with cryotherapy is that it is wide open. The challenge with that is education and marketing. So a lot of times people underestimate how much they need to put towards that. once you get clients in and they experience it, and I go back to that tangible, it's real, I feel it, experience, people are, the retention rate's really strong from that point forward. So I always like, when I get asked a question like, what am I missing? What else should I ask? And I said, whatever you think you need to put towards educating and marketing your client base or the market around you, you need to double that mindset, because it is something new, right? Miss Susan, that's a 65-year-old tennis pro that's been coming to your spa for 10 years. She needs to be very educated on what this is and what the benefits are so that she can get in there for the first time and then tangibly feel it and experience it. So that's normally the number one thing I always circle back to, is making sure people understand that piece.
So how do your estheticians and spa owners get the education? Is that something your company provides, or do you have, referral people that you refer to for education, or how do they learn more about it so that they're providing the right information to their clients?
Sure. So we were the first, and we're the largest American manufacturing company. And we have a majority of the units in the United States. We got good at building, supplying, and supporting our product. What myself and the rest of my team do today is really development of strategies and pricing and floor plans and concepts and where does cryotherapy fit. A big piece of that is our protocol training and certification program. So our team arrives on site for 2 days and installs, educates, runs sessions. We go through this whole process. All of our clients take a test and then they review it. And then we have a client portal where they're constantly being refreshed on new marketing information and new case studies and new videos and pictures. And so we never stop, even us, learning about cryotherapy and how to talk about it and market it and educate it. But we never stop sending that information to our clients either. And so, yeah, the educational piece and the how to build a talk track around it and sell it and get people excited about it, that's a big part of what our clients invest in with us. And it's probably a bigger piece than even us building the equipment, is actually delivering on that support side.
Yeah, I know for spa, education is so key, because in this industry, things are constantly evolving and changing. I mean, when I got into the industry, Botox was this new exciting thing that had recently been approved. And now it's like it's old news. I mean, it's something that everyone knows what it is. And so to stay current and stay up to date on the science and technology, we rely quite a bit on the companies. So having that constant stream of education is really a benefit for any spa or, esthetician that's wanting to bring in any kind of new service. So that's great to hear.
Yeah. And I would add to that, which, entrepreneur and manufacturing and things like that, that's a world I know. Mm-hmm. I'm new to the spa world over the last 5 years. And what I've been fascinated with, especially in the spa vertical, is that spa owners, operators, are very hesitant with new products, right? Because you guys are overwhelmed with concepts and things you haven't heard of and roll it in. Some have been winners and some have been losers. And so the spa market is not a challenging sell, but a fun sell to really get them involved with understanding where the upside is and how we can effectively do this together and how we can do it long term. And so the spa client, right, across the table from me, is always a mature buyer, is what I'm trying to say.
I think we're really focused on science, and we love to see the studies that go into it, because so many estheticians and spa owners, we're ingredient junkies, we're product junkies. We want to know, what is this doing in the skin? How is this making the real change? And there's a lot of snake oil out there, and so if we have the science and we can see the studies and we can see like, wow, this is, these are some well done before and afters. And then we are on board when we have, the proof is in the pudding. When we see that, then we're all for it. But because there is so much, I mean, gosh, I remember last year there were these facials in Korea where people were putting snails on the skin because there's growth factors that are in the snail slime. And so I was like, okay, that's probably not going to go over well in here, but there's so many different things. So I know that, we are a group of very educated, very savvy individuals, and you wouldn't necessarily think that from the outside. A lot of one thing that I'm trying to change personally is that beauty school impression that a lot of people think, oh, you're in the beauty industry, but they're really so intelligent and so savvy when it comes to ingredients and things that are happening in the skin. Where we need help is in the business and the marketing side.
Sure. And I think where cryotherapy and IMPACT, our company, really shines is that I'm not just selling to the spa world, right? I'm selling to orthopedic rehab facilities and PTs and pro and college programs. And so it adds a lot of legitimacy to what we do. And I think we get a lot of our spa wins because they see, oh, this doctor's involved, and the 49ers are using it too for athletic recovery and increased blood flow. I don't know why my female client base that's going to core power yoga every morning wouldn't see benefits in using it at our spa as well. And so I think it crosses a lot of lines there, which adds some legitimacy to it. And
for
of course,
sure.
we're constantly trying to support that as well.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to add to make this episode complete for you?
No, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for your time and for your expertise. You guys, we will be sure to include all of the links that you need to get in touch with IMPACT Cryotherapy. If you are interested, if you want to follow them on social media, if you have questions for them, those will all be in the show notes. So be sure to check that out. And Chad, thank you so much.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you.